Good morning. Do I assume the audio isn't on in that room yet? I don't hear anything. Tom, do you hear anything?
Nope, I don't hear anything.
Okay, thanks. That's good. The fact that you can hear me, that's good.
All right, I'll call the meeting to order. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, we'll start with the roll call to make sure we have a quorum to operate. Tony, can you take care of that?
Sure, Madam Chair. Commissioner Brennheiser? Commissioner DeBunda, are you on the call? Commissioner DeBunda? Commissioner Egloff? Doc, are you on the call? Commissioner Ellis? Here. Commissioner Jones? Here. Commissioner Lark? Commissioner Lark, are you on the call? Commissioner Rogers?
Here.
Commissioner Ruddy?
Here.
And Commissioner Sweeney?
Here.
We have a quorum, Madam Chair. We'll chime in for the other three later.
Good. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to our November meeting. As always, we began the day with an executive session this morning. Let me just confirm that we did sunshine this meeting as required by the Sunshine Act. Yes, okay, thank you, nodding heads. Let's proceed to the minutes from our October meeting behind tab 1 in your book. Everybody had a chance to look those over. I know Tom sent them out by email ahead of time.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner DeBunda, a second from Commissioner Rogers. Is there any discussion, questions, changes to the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll start with our presentations, beginning with the Racing Fund financial report. Welcome to our Chief Financial Officer, Tracy Gottwalt.
Good afternoon, Deputy Secretary Cook and Commissioners. Starting out with the Racing Fund balance as of October 31st, the beginning balance was $9,214,000. Revenue was $1,567,000. Expenditures were $2,035,000, bringing the ending cash balance to $8,746,000. Moving on to the Racehorse Commission revenue and expenditures for the month of October. Total revenue was $787,000. Personnel expenditures were $470,000. Operating expenditures were $58,000, bringing the total expenditures for the month to $529,000. Racehorse testing, again, revenue and expenditures for the month of October. Revenue was $780,000. Personnel expenditures were $356,000. Operating expenditures were $1,124,000, bringing the total expenditures for the month to $1,480,000. Racehurst promotion, there was no revenue for the month, and there was advertising expenditures of $17,855. Year to date, reviewing October 2022 against October 2021. There was an increase in revenue of 1%, an increase in personnel of 5%, and a decrease in operating expenditures of 9%, with the overall operating expenditures dropping 1%. And in reviewing the large impact as far as the variations on them, other specialized services was an increase, and it probably is about one billing, maybe two billings for UPenn. Contracted services, again, we had spoken to that is an item in which it has been moved to the UPenn contract, probably one of the reasons that the contract costs have increased. Real estate is still not been paid yet as of this year. And the other one is the laboratory supplies being a decrease. Again, that's another component that was added into the UPenn contract this year. Any questions?
Seemed like it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tracy.
This is Commissioner Lark joining the meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Lark. All right, moving on to the marketing report. There you are.
And Mike Simpson.
Hit button.
There we go. Mike Simpson from Standardbred Breeders Association. And first, I'm going to have Stu Kirschenbaum from Keystone Films tell you what we've been up to for the last year. And right after that, I'm going to have Ashley Eisenbiel from Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association talk a little more about the Wager Warriors program that we've been working on.
Good afternoon, commissioners, council. My name is Stu Kirschenbaum. Stu is S-T-U. That's the easy part. Kirschenbaum is K-I-R-S-H-E-N-B-A-U-M. I am the owner, I'm the executive producer at Keystone Films. The work that we do with the Standardbred Breeders Association of PA is largely about building their brand and enhancing their image by speaking to the standardbred industry and underscoring Pennsylvania's place at the very top of this industry, as well as speaking to the public, particularly here in central PA, to help make them aware of both the prestige and the benefits, such as the job creation, the economic impact that this region derives from the strength of Pennsylvania's standardbred breeding. Now, since we last reported to you last November, Keystone Films has done the following on behalf of the standardbred breeders. We have continued our robust broadcast and digital marketing and advertising campaigns. We have boosted their social media platforms, and we've maintained our daily management, hosting, SEO, and security for the Standardbred Breeders website. Now, this past spring, Keystone Films again produced video shoots at Hanover Shoe Farms, Diamond Creek Farm, and Veuve Carré Farms. You'd think after 6 years of French in high school and college, I'd be able to say those words, but you'd be wrong. Veuve Carré Farms. Additionally, as we did in 2019, the last time that the event was held, we had a video crew at Diamond Creek Farm for their open house. So I'd like to play you now a video that we did sort of highlighting the day of the Diamond Creek open house.
We are in Wellsville, Pennsylvania today, and we are having our annual open house. Just kind of like a day to come check out what we do here at Diamond Creek. And we're going to do a stallion showcase and tell a little bit about, tidbit about everybody.
This horse, Father Patrick, is now 11 years old, well into a stallion career. A colt by Father Patrick sold for $1.1 million. A couple of fun facts about Sweet Lou. He has the most Twitter followers of all the stallions that stand at our farm.
We started this about 3 years ago, and then obviously COVID happened, so we haven't had it for the past 2 years, so we decided to bring it up again. I think we just aim for everybody to have a good time, whether they're here just to experience the fun of being around a horse or to be here to learn about something. As long as everybody's having a good time and everybody's happy, that's about the goal. As long as everything goes smooth and everybody has a good time, that's all that matters.
Did you guys have a great time or what?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we
Lots
did.
of fun.
Awesome.
Now, as we did both in 2020 and 2021, we then produced a video that's about 2 minutes long, which emphasizes Standardbred Breeding's job creation, as well as the love, the care, the devotion that you see each and every day from everyone who works with these magnificent horses. If we could play the 2 minute long Standardbred video, please.
Some of the top horses in the sport are born and raised in Pennsylvania.
It's really the world capital of standardbred breeding.
One of the reasons it's the epicenter of standardbred breeding is Hanover Shoe Farm.
Hanover Shoe Farms is the leading standardbred breeder in the world. Our offspring won $35 million at the races last year, which is a record for any farm of any breed. Breeds from other states do locate in Pennsylvania.
The biggest operation that moved into Pennsylvania was Diamond Creek.
The monetary benefit is the best one for everybody.
It's all about dollars and cents. That's how this business functions. And it's not a hard sell. I mean, we have a whole mess of clients that send us horses to take advantage of the program. The racing opportunities have been, continue to be, and into the future are very strong here. This is where the top stallions are. A lot of the top mares are here in Pennsylvania. It's perfect.
She likes it. We take great pride in our industry. We take great pride in it, and it's an economic benefit to the whole state.
There are 20,000 standardbred related jobs in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Your baby's fine. It's humbling, it's genuine. You get pride out of taking care of them, teaching them, learning with them. It fills you with gratitude learning these things.
I love this job, and being able to come to such a beautiful place and seeing the sunrise and the horses and see how they interact every day is unimaginable. It's a great environment to be able to work with other people who love just what you love, and we get the job done, and that's what matters.
Wait a minute, girl. You let me catch you. When I was a little kid, my grandpa said if you cut his head open, nothing would come out with horses. So I've loved them all my life.
All my neighbors are horses. They don't complain, and I don't complain about them. I mean, we love them. If you didn't love them, you wouldn't do this.
Horses are my life, will always be. My wife gets after me because I work all the time, but the reason I do is because I love what I do.
I sometimes tease Dr. Egloff that, after this video that Hollywood is going to somehow discover him. And I notice he's not here at the meeting today, so perhaps that's already happened. I don't know. But social media engagement with that video you just watched on Facebook, on Twitter, and now on Instagram has been 100% positive. Our top viewership has been from here in PA. Our top viewership has been from here in PA, as well as New York, New Jersey, and Ohio, our neighboring states. So it's been a very good way to reach the general public and make them aware of the importance of standardbred breeding to Pennsylvania. Additionally, it's also been watched worldwide in 14 different foreign countries, topped by Ireland and England. So from that shoot, we also produced a third. Keystone Films has always had a very good working relationship with TVG, which is now FanDuel TV. We ran our commercial with them throughout Breeders' Crown Week, as well as leading into and out of the Hambletonian, the Little Brown Jug, and the Meadowlands Pace. Regionally, we aired the longer video you just watched, the Diamond Creek open house video as well, plus the 30-second commercial with Bruce Casella's PA Harness Week show. And obviously, Bruce does a fabulous job with that, and as well as at parks and everything that he does. So we're happy to have that affiliation as well. We're also very pleased that since we last reported to you, we've also been able to open doors with the New York Racing Association and their America's Day at the Races program, which airs nationally on both Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2. So in addition to the other outlets I just mentioned, both we ran our 30-second commercial on the America's Day at the Races coverage of the Meadowlands Pace, the Hambletonian, and the Breeders' Crown. So here's how a 30-second commercial played, for example, within the context of their live Breeders' Crown coverage. Play the 30-second commercial, please.
Bulldog Hanover, a true star, coming up next. Stay tuned for a lot more on America's Day at the Races. We're going to see the big guy after this.
Horses in the sport are born and raised in Pennsylvania.
It's really the world capital of standardbred breeding. Breeders from other states locate in Pennsylvania.
It's not a hard sell. I mean, we have a whole mess of clients that send us horses to take advantage of the program. The racing opportunities have been, continue to be, and into the future are very strong here. This is where the top stallions are. A lot of the top mares are here in Pennsylvania. It's perfect.
One other thing is that our relationship with NYRA and with Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2, it also provides billboards as a bonus element. So, for example, this is what it looked like during last month's Breeders' Crown when the studio threw it to Jessica Otten on track at Woodbine Mohawk for a race preview. And if we could play that billboard, please.
Well, let's check in with Jessica. This trackside report is sponsored by the Standardbred Breeders Association of Pennsylvania. Jessica, a wide open race coming up next for the 3-year-old trotters.
It really is a wide open race. Of course, last week in the eliminations, neither one of the favorites won the eliminations, and one of the eliminations, the favorite going in there, didn't even make the final.
So that billboard, along with our logo on screen, continued to be displayed on screen for an additional 4 minutes and 25 seconds as Jessica shivered her way through her commentary on that upcoming race. Essentially, whenever there's a major harness racing event, we want to be sure that our messaging and our branding is a part of that event. One other note is that NYRA was kind enough to also give us bonus commercials during their showing of the Melbourne Cup, which is not necessarily our audience, but it's certainly nice to have exposure during an international racing event free of charge. Now, Keystone Films also maintains daily management of the Standardbred Breeders' social media platforms. Our followings there continue to grow. We've seen a 6% bump in Facebook in the past 12 months and 9% growth in Twitter. And we've recently launched within the past couple of weeks an Instagram account on their behalf as well. We've also created social media listings and job posts for open positions at Hanover Shoe Farms. Naturally, that's something we'll happily make available to any farm which would like our assistance. To wrap it up, along with our partners at Ethic Advertising, Keystone Films manages the daily content, posting, security, and SEO for the Standardbred Breeders website, which is standardbredbreederspa.com. In the package, which I hope you folks got, there's a hyperlink to the site. So if you haven't been to the site, I encourage you to please take a look. We've added a job section, which can be reached from the homepage. And additionally, at the bottom right, you can also choose if you want to view the entire site in English or in Spanish. And if the videos we discussed earlier, they're also prominently displayed there on the homepage. So to sum up, we continue to use a variety of methods to achieve our branding and imaging objectives on behalf of the Standardbred Breeders of Pennsylvania. We use their platforms to highlight the achievements on the racetrack of horses sired and or bred in PA. And we want to continually ensure that the Standardbred Breeders message resonates with the industry. We'll make ongoing use of a variety of initiatives, as we've talked about, so that all Pennsylvanians can take great pride in the many things that Standardbred breeding brings to the state. That's all I have. Thank you very much, and happy to take any questions you might have.
Thanks. Stu, are there any questions?
Pass it over to Ashley. I see her up there on the screen.
Thank you, Mike. My name is Ashley Eisenbeil. It is ASHLEY-EISENBEIL, and I am the marketing director for the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association. Nicole, I don't know if you're able to pull up the deck that I sent over on Wager Warriors. If not, it's a brief deck. I'll go through it. This year, for the 2021-2022 fiscal year, the Wager Warriors kicked off again with our partnership with the Standardbred Breeders Association. We worked with a budget with them with $5,707 on top of the $10,000 that the PHRA put into the Wager Warriors this year. The second slide, we have the Trackmaster free PPs that we did again. So we actually sent out free PPs once again each week from a thoroughbred track, and on our website you can also see the links there for the harness tracks. Again, the harness racing tracks this year in the Horsemen's Association with the harness horsemen, they actually gave free PPs for all of their races, and those can be found on their website. So we did hyperlink those on our Wager Warriors website. So they have anybody who goes to the Wager Warriors page has access to both the harness free PPs and the free PPs that we do once a week for a thoroughbred track. So the reason that we love to do this promotion is it is something that we can give back to our current betting clientele, and then also it is a great resource for our new fans and betting clientele, because they don't have to do the investment of figuring out how to download or where they need to go for a free PP or for PPPs. They don't have to invest in that if they're, and they can get a look at what those past performances look like without investing their dollars or trying to figure out where they could locate them. We're handing them out to them. So we're taking our fans through the journey of horse racing from when they're first introduced to horse racing, and now they are handicapping and walking through the phases of betting regularly, we hope. So that is the free PPs. They are, like I said, housed on our website. And since last year, we started emailing out directly when the PPPs that we post for free come out. We have an email list that people can sign up for. We have now 500 subscribers on that list, and that is a 200 person increase from last year. So we're seeing people really take advantage of the PPs being emailed to them. And I have to say, we have a 40% open rate of those emails, which is pretty high for emails going out on a regular basis. If we look at the standards for our newsletter, that's usually about a 13% open rate. So from July 2021 to July 2022, we were able to send out 62 thoroughbred racing free PPs, and with the addition of the harness live cards PPs going out for the entire year, we, as Pennsylvania, gave out over 600 days of free past performances. And that is an astronomical amount. I don't know any other state that gives away that many past performances. On the next slide, you'll see our website where we have our Wager Warriors page. We saw a 59% increase in page views this year and a 54% increase in unique page views. So we are getting new visitors on the website, and more consistently, they are returning as well. So we're not just getting new people and new eyes on that page. We are also seeing a lot of return visitors to get their free past performances. Facebook Live. We did continue our Facebook Lives this year with Mike and Mike Mike Carter and Mike Bobovich, to discuss handicapping topics, and also they were joined by guests in the industry to interview and discuss different topics. So we had a wonderful year of that. We did over 12 Facebook Lives. And I do have to say there was a typo. We received over, instead of 3,000, it is actually 8,867 views from July 2021 and July 2022. The most viewed live segment we had was a interview and kind of Q&A with jockey Sylvester Gomez with 1,400 views. And then our second one was a live with jockey Andrew Wolfsont and Sean Johnson, the driver from the Meadows, with 1,200 views. They were really great, and we're really excited to continue doing these back and forth between the two industries, like jockeys and drivers in both sides. On the next slide, you can see the replays of the Facebook Lives in case you missed them. They are listed on that slide for you to link to. Lastly, I just kind of want to briefly go over the 2022-2023 plans for Wager Warriors. Wager Warriors was revamped on the 27th of October with Donnell Muck, who's joined the PHRA team. She started off again with some different breeders and owners from the thoroughbred and harness industry to talk fractional ownership. And we had over 484 views and 7 shares on that last event last month. I do want to ask that everybody tune in tonight. We are having a second one with a thoroughbred trainer, Michael Moore, and a harness trainer, Brandon Pesto, to discuss training on both sides of racing. So we're super excited to continue our lives on Facebook and getting people tuned in at home. We also plan to go back to the track this spring and bring Wager Warriors to the tracks again, giving wagering tips and betting vouchers to those that are attending, and being able to assist anybody with questions on placing bets, and handing out literature and cards for how to place bets as well. So we're really excited for the upcoming year, and we're hoping to continue this wonderful partnership with the Standardbred Breeders. At this time, I'll take any questions.
Anyone have any questions? All right, Ashley, I guess you're off the hook. Thank you for a thorough report.
Thank you.
Oops. I understand that Dr. Robinson is under the weather today, so we'll postpone the UPenn research report to our December meeting and instead invite Mike Zollinger and his group from Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs to come on up to the table. These microphones are fairly sensitive, so the good news is you don't have to eat the darn things. The bad news is you do have to push the button and have the little green collar lit up around it. There you go.
Good afternoon. I'm Sarah Stoner of Eckert Siemens, and I'm here on behalf of Downs Racing LP. We are pleased to be before the Commission on Downs Racing's petition to renew its horse race meeting license. At this point in time, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Anthony Carlucci, President and General Manager.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and Council. I'm Anthony Carlucci, President and General Manager of Mohegan. I have with me today Ron Krishan, our Director of Compliance, and I think all of you know Mike Zellinger, our Director of Racing Operations and Sportsbook Operations. And we're here for your consideration on our license renewal. I'm going to turn it over to the main man, Mike, over here.
Thank you, Tony. So a little brief racetrack history. Our racetrack has been in operation since 1965. Our current OTW operation in Allentown has been in operation since 1993. And some recent changes to our fictitious name is now Pocono Downs at Mohegan, Pennsylvania. So we maintain the moniker of Pocono Downs with our history. So our 2023 racing schedule, what we have lined up is 136 racing days for 2023, beginning February 18th through October 31st. Post time at 1 o'clock on Saturdays, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays come September and October, and 3 p.m. this year on Sundays. Our racing secretary, Rick Kane, has came up with his game of claims again to begin in March. His Bobby Weiss late closers will be held in April this year. And our Sun Stakes Saturday is planned for Saturday, August 19th. And the 2-year-old Sire Stakes finals will be held again in September. Some racing events that we've reintroduced, popular promotions, such as our Derby Day Hat Review, outside food trucks on Derby Day, Sun Stakes Saturday. We've expanded our wagering outside of the U.S. Through Denmark, Sweden, Finland, and had seen some good results over the past 2 years with that, and hope to continue that next year. 2022, we had seen a 35% increase in the past performance downloads from our PHAJ website. So people are visiting the website and downloading our past performances for our races. We've also reintroduced some family-oriented activities, such as children's face painting, horseshoe decorating, and the roadie ponies provided by Ashley from Penn Racing on our Sun Stakes Saturday, which the kids seem to get a kick out of. Next are racetrack improvements. Some of the things that we've done to continue to maintain the level of racing that we have. We purchased new tractors, a new tractor for grading and maintaining the track. We've added a concrete pad to outside the paddock so the horsemen can wash off their equipment, their horses, and maintain that professionally. We have our paddock professionally cleaned every day after racing by an outside company. And we have some plans to update our tote board within the next year or two. Some changes we made to our clubhouse and simulcast areas. We've upgraded our televisions in the simulcast or the clubhouse from the small tube TVs to the now standard flat panel TVs. We're currently in negotiations with Global Tote, who is our tote provider, to acquire some of the newest, most up-to-date equipments, such as teller machines, self-service machines, and cash machines, which allow people to cash out their own vouchers without a teller being present. We've also managed to open our Winner's Circle bar during live racing. As I'm sure everybody knows very well, some staffing challenges can be tough at times, but we have managed to, acquire the staff to get that open during our live race days. Some other racing improvements we have made are to our iBet online wagering site. We've upgraded that site to a new G4 format. This format's more user-friendly. It allows more funding options for the guests where they don't have to come to the track to make a deposit. They can watch 3 videos at once now while they're wagering and have all 3 video feeds going at one time. And we're currently working on an application with that provider so the guests can redeem their own rewards points and deposit those right into their account without having to call our customer service line. Our Allentown Racing Sportsbook, with the addition of sports wagering, it has reinvigorated the off-track wagering operations and attendance at that facility. Has reintroduced a new line of clientele to the horse racing industry and pari-mutuel wagering. And we're exploring some possibilities with partnering with a entertainment or food operator at that facility currently. In conclusion, over the past 57 years, Mohegan has been a leader in the horse racing industry, and we look forward to continuing the promotion of the sport. Mohegan is a highly suitable and qualified to continue to hold horse race meets, and we are requesting a renewal of our race meet license, and that to be in the best interest of the public and the horse racing industry. I thank you all for your time and consideration.
Are there any questions regarding both?
Darryl Breniser, DARRYL BRENISER. I was wondering if you consider putting some additional emphasis on the sire stakes, since this is a major showcase of our top Pennsylvania 2- and 3-year-olds. I know I've been to some of the races in the past, and I'm a little dismayed in the poor attendance and so forth. So in the future, if you could consider maybe putting more emphasis on that, it would be appreciated.
Okay. Thank you, Darryl.
Not hearing any other questions, so thank you very much for your presentation. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Transition to the group from Parks, Wilson and Company.
Secretary and commissioners, my name is Mark Stewart with the law firm of Eckert Siemens. We're here today on behalf of Greenwood Racing, Inc. and its 2 licensees, Bensalem Racing Association and Keystone Turf Club. With me is a man who needs no introduction, Joe Wilson, the COO of Greenwood Racing, and my partner, Sarah Stoner. And like the presentation before you, we are here to request the renewal of the live race meeting licenses held by Greenwood Racing. We have a brief presentation that should be in your binders. And I will turn it over to Joe to handle the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Joe Wilson, JOEWILSON. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Commissioners, staff. You have the handout that we provided earlier. So Greenwood Racing acquired Philadelphia Park in 1990. When gaming came along, we operated slots in the grandstand from 2006 to 2009 while we built the permanent casino. That opened in 2009, and that name was changed to Parks Casino. We then rebranded the racetrack about 5-6 months later in 2010 to Parks Racing. We have operated 6 turf clubs in PA, along with our ADW platform, PhoneBet. We continue to operate Parks Racing alongside Parks Casino. We currently have 2 turf clubs that offer racing and sports wagering. That's South Philadelphia Racing Sportsbook and the Malvern Racing Sportsbook. Parks now has 7 graded stakes races, including 2 grade 1s in the Pennsylvania Derby and the Cotillion. We have increased our simulcast business by 70% in 2021 over 2019. Obviously, 2020 we will try not to talk about. And 2022 year to date is ahead of 2021. This year's PA Derby, we had a record handle of almost 19 million, which eclipsed the previous record, which was at 14 million, which was also happened to be the year before. Collaboration with Chickies and Pete's to open a race and sportsbook in Malvern, and plans to relocate the South Philly one into Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia. We have spent over $35 million on improvements. We built 33 new barns. We renovated 12 dorm rooms. Each of those dorms has 24 rooms. We renovated the grandstand a couple times, and we completely redid our jockeys room last year. We put eco-friendly rubber pavers in the walking ring in the winter circle. We installed the rider protection rail on the track, which is the finest rail you can get is at all major racetracks in the world. just completed a renovation on the detention barn, which also modernized the office areas in that space. Also not on here, we were accredited by the NTRA Safety and Integrity Alliance back in 2019, and we were reaccredited this past June. Parks is a leader in the PA racing industry, promoting, developing, and improving racing. Parks is highly suitable and qualified to continue to hold its licenses, and Parks' renewal is consistent with the public interest and the best interests of horse racing in Pennsylvania. That's all I have.
Welcome any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
Sure. Plans to relocate to South Philadelphia, a more definitive timeframe?
Headway has been made on the zoning matter. So once that is wholly final and complete, then we can proceed down the path with the commission.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. And you said NTRB accreditation this past in 2022?
We were reaccredited in this past June.
June, got it.
So they kind of got behind with COVID and everything that went along. So,
okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Anyone on screen? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Invitation. I will turn now to Harris. Welcome. Just hit the button on the old microphone there. There you go.
Good afternoon, commissioners, Mr. Salerno, Mr. Augusto, Mr. Crone. My name is Stephen D. Schreier, and I am with the law firm of Blank Rome, and I am here on behalf of Chester Downs and Marina LLC, which does business as Harrah's Philadelphia Casino and Racetrack. With me today is Zara Alayan, who is the general manager of Harrah's Philadelphia and has been in that position for a few months now. So she wanted to say hello to you as well. And also Barry Brown, who you know is the director of racing operations at Harrah's Philadelphia. We're here today seeking the renewal of the company's race meet license. And we have fulfilled the obligations necessary to do that and filed our applications with the commission and worked closely with Ms. McCrone in that regard. We have a brief presentation that we'd like to make for you today, which should be in your packet as well. And Mr. Brown will be making that presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to speak to you this afternoon and sit here and talk with you about the renewal of our race meet license. So we have been in existence not quite as long as my two predecessors, but we have been at Harrah's Philadelphia now for 16 years. This past September was our 16th anniversary. And on the first page of the deck that you're looking at, I talk a little bit about historical performance. And what is noteworthy is just in 2021 was the best season in the history of our racetrack. From 2019 till 2021, as you'll note on the slide deck, we have enjoyed a 36% increase in handle on live racing over these last couple years. We did do a few things to try to stimulate that handle, and I'd like to think that those efforts are proving out to be home runs for us. We reduced our takeout, which I know is a very hotly debated subject in our sport, but we did decide to do that. We revamped our wagering menu, and we also now have our past performances online. So those three things simultaneously, I believe, have contributed to the growth in our live racing product. Our relationship with TVG is something that is developing and growing year by year. They are our internet ADW provider. It's a relationship that, again, continues to grow, and we intend to do more with it. One of our objectives and goals in the months and years to come is to try to get some of those folks that live in and around the Philadelphia area to actually visit the property. While it's great to have them playing the races online, it would be even better if we could get them to come. And that is an effort that we will continue to work on as we move forward. Our daily purse structure remains at about $140,000 a day based on a 14-race card. And again, the slide in front of you shows 2021 as a year that we did over $82 million in handle, which was a record. This year, we are on pace to do probably a little bit over 70, but we also had, and I'm going to talk about that in a little while, a race date reduction where we're racing 130 days, less days, so that attributes to some of the handle figures not quite being the same. In terms of marketing and promotions and things that we like to do and are trying to do, now that we are part of a bigger company, Caesars, we have other racing properties that I have an opportunity to work with, talk with their racing leaders, and exchange of ideas, especially on the marketing side. One thing that we've done is we've brought in something that I call 2x rewards. And what that is folks at the property, and this was effective this year, folks that visit Harrah's Philadelphia and wager on live racing earn double the rewards through our Caesars Rewards loyalty program, right? So it's an opportunity to incentivize our fans to bet live racing. You know, it's if they're going to be at the property, and obviously we want them to bet all of the tracks that we offer, but we certainly want to try to get them to bet live racing. So that has been, we've had great reviews on that. I've had customers that have thanked us for that. And that is something that we're going to obviously continue to do. Something called Last Man Standing. That is a promotion that I admit that I stole it from a sister property within the Caesars world. If you've ever seen a football knockout pool. That's essentially what we do on Sundays for live racing. Our customers, before the races start, pick a horse. If their horse finishes win, place, or show, then they advance to the next race. Our regulars really enjoy it. And in the next year, what we're going to try to do is extend it to even farther to some of the novice folks. They're a little hesitant to try it. Maybe they don't understand it. So we're going to try to work harder at that. But these are all things that we're trying and things that we're going to continue to work on. Family days. So over the years, I have been up here and talked a lot about our family day experience at Harrah's Philadelphia. Those of you that have visited our property are familiar with our outdoor patio. We have a very large outdoor area, especially on Sunday afternoons where we get a very retail type crowd, folks that are coming out to look at see the horses race. They may not be really racing diehards, but it's something that we're able to capitalize on and will continue to work on. And when I say Family Day, we'll have the various events for kids, face painters, cartoon artists, that kind of stuff. And we will continue to focus on that. Holidays. We have had some of the best crowds we have all year on days like Mother's Day and Father's Day. Mother's Day can get a little tricky with the weather. It's in early April, but Father's Day continues to amaze me. It grows every year. This past year on Father's Day, we had probably the largest crowd I've seen in years at our facility, with the exception, obviously, of Kentucky Derby. But Father's Day is a day that we get the large crowds. We've tried different things, but we're going to continue to try to build on it because it is really a tremendous day. Harrah's Invitational Sunday. That's a day that some of you I know have been, you have visited with us on that day. That is the premier day of our racing season that is always held on the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. We get some of the best horses in the country to race at our place. And it is a great, great day of racing and also a great day for us to try to work on the experience for the fans. Sire Stakes Sunday. I know, Darrell, you referenced that a little while ago. This year we have the 3-year-old finals. Last year we had the 2-year-old finals. I believe the finals, the Sire Stakes schedule is not final yet. but I believe tentatively Labor Day Sunday will be the day that we'll target for our 3-year-old finals. And yes, it's a day that we should do more, and it's a great day for a family day. It's before the NFL season starts, so it's a great opportunity to capitalize. We've also extended our season in recent years. For a long time, we were racing through mid-December. Now we're going, this will be the second year in a row, we go straight through New Year's Eve. And by racing through New Year's Eve, we've also added Christmas Eve as a day to our race schedule. And as you see on the slide deck in front of you, last year on Christmas Eve was the second highest handled day in the history of our property. So it was absolutely a home run. It's a date that we're going to continue to race on. We did over 1.2 million in handle last year. And other than a day 12 years ago that everybody canceled on the East Coast due to heat, it was the best day in the history of our track. So we're excited about Christmas Eve coming up next month. And then obviously we're going to race through New Year's Eve as well. And New Year's Eve is also a day that we're trying to capitalize on folks being at the property. It's another amenity for our property, for our customers, an opportunity to get casino customers possibly interested in racing, since it's a lot of different events happening. And this year it falls out on a Saturday, so that gives us an extra opportunity to try to build on it. Community and industry relations. So this coming year at the Dan Patch Awards, which is held, I believe, in early February, Caesars Racing, and I say Caesars Racing meaning all of the Caesars properties. We're proud to be a gold sponsor again for the industry. It's an event that last year we were able to have a big presence at, and it's something that Caesars Racing intends to continue that partnership with the Dan Patch Awards. And then I also mentioned here the Alex Lemonade Stand, something I'm very proud of. Our mutuals team, the mutuals staff at Harrah's Philadelphia, we put on at least 3, sometimes 4 Alex Lemonade Stands a year. It's an opportunity to raise money for childhood cancer. We've been doing 3 or 4 of these for at least 10 years plus now, and it's really been well embraced by our fans. Our mutuals team really enjoys doing it, and it's something that I'm very proud of. Capital improvements. We also have added 2 new John Deere tractors to our track maintenance vehicle list. We brought those in just last year in 2021. We also enhanced all new TVs on our simulcast video wall. Those of you that have been to the property know we have the large wall on one end of our race book, and those are all new TVs. Tabletop TVs, those were all new at the start of this year. There was over 100 of those added into our race book. And I am searching for a new water truck. I say that the way I said it because in this day and age, with all of the supply chain issues, I have had a very difficult time trying to secure a new water truck. We actually have borrowed one from one of our sister properties right now until I'm able to bring something in. But we are in search of a new water truck, working with the Kuhn brothers on trying to do that. And that is something that I'm hoping in advance of the 2023 season we'll be able to do. As far as 2023 and planning for it, we are on this agenda today is our request to run for 130 days again this year. This will be the second year that we're going to run 130 days. That is in cooperation with the PHHA. Obviously, it's a date reduction, but it allows us to keep purses where we want them. It helps us with horse population in the fall, where we typically run into an issue in the fall. So by running less days, and most of the reduction happens in the fall, and we're going 3 days instead of 4, that allows us to keep our daily races at 14 a day, which is where we want it. Marketing events, something that I started to do last year, and we're going to build on it. I referenced our Sundays, and I referenced the type of crowd that we get on Sundays. So this past year on Father's Day, we had a Frank Sinatra singer out entertaining our crowd. You have to understand on those Sundays, right? It's not hardcore racing fans. It's fans that are in the Philadelphia area that want a day out, want to have a fun event out. So we had a Frank Sinatra singer for 4 hours, and it added to the Father's Day experience. This year, I plan to have an Elvis Presley Day, a Neil Diamond Day. The demographic that we get on Sundays, that's the type of entertainment that those folks want to see, and we're going to try to build on that. Return of night racing. We had typically would run some night events in the fall. Obviously, with COVID, we kind of got away from it this year. We had some other track lighting issues that prevented us from moving forward with that, but I do plan to bring some of those back in the fall of 2023. Stakes race days, obviously, our Harrah's Invitational Sunday. That'll also, again, be on Memorial Day Sunday, and it ends up being one of our best days of our season, and we're excited. And then the Sire Stakes Final, which will be likely on Labor Day weekend. So in closing, I want to thank you for the opportunity to talk in front of you today. Harrah's Philadelphia, we believe, remains suitable to be licensed and respectfully requests the renewal of our race meet license. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you. I was having a pretty good day till you mentioned it's been 16 years since I was standing in Chester for the opening of the track. Anybody else? Any questions? George, I saw you groaning too. When time flies. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Turning to Penn National.
Deputy Cook and Commissioners, my name is Chris Mackerlane. I'm the Corporate Vice President of Racing for Penn Entertainment, and we will be doing the license renewal for both Hollywood Casino at Penn National Racecourse, which is the Mountain View Racing Association and Penn National Turf Club, as well as Hollywood Casino at the Meadows, which is Washington Trotting Association and Mountain Laurel Racing Incorporated. I oversee all the racing operations for Penn Entertainment. I've been involved with Penn Entertainment for 15 years now and have been in the racetrack management field for over 30 years. I also want to allow the rest of the individuals here who are part of our team to introduce themselves and give a brief background on their leadership in our organization.
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon, commissioners, and those of you on the call. My name is Tony Fabio. I'm the Vice President General Manager at Penn National Racecourse. And I've been at that property now for just over 3.5 months. I came from Hollywood Casino at the Meadows previously, where I was the Vice President General Manager at that property for 3.5 years. And before that, in Ohio at our thoroughbred track, Mahoning Valley. So this is my third property in racing and third overall with Penn. I've been in gaming since 1997, so quite a while, moving throughout the United States. So happy to be here in front of you today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Eric Johnston, Director of Racing Operations. That's ERIC, last name Johnston, Johnston. If you all seen me here many times, but just a little history on myself. I started at Penn National back in 1984, worked my way through the system at several different racetracks, including Laurel, Pimlico, Sam Houston Race Park, and have consulted internationally at Fort Erie and other locations. I returned to Penn National in 2014, and so I've been here a little over 8 years, and hopefully for another 8 years.
Hello, I'm Scott Lisha. I'm the Director of Racing at the Meadows. I have been with the property for going on 2 years, about 1 year and 9 months now. Previous to that, I had worked in racing pretty much my entire adult life and some of my youth, racetracks from Maryland up and down the coast, Massachusetts to Florida. Left racing for a little stint and then came back here recently with the Meadows. I also spent a little time working for the Racing Commission as an investigator in the state of Maryland. So thank you very much. And I just have on the screen, we have just recently had a general manager and vice president named for our property, not replacing, I should not say that, taking over the role that previously was held by Tony Fabio. He's actually on today, Matthew Heiskell.
Well, good afternoon. I'll just say hi real fast. Matt Heiskell, Vice President, General Manager at the Meadows, almost. I actually start later this week, so my apologies for not being there in person, but I'm a part of the hectic move process right now and trying to get up there. So most recently in Tunica, started my career in Tunica, time in St. Louis, Atlantic City, and then 7 years in Maryland as well. And I'm just thrilled to get up there and continue the great work that Tony and Scott have done at Hollywood at the Meadows and meet and work with all of you. Thank you.
So I think everyone is familiar with the history of our company, but just a brief background. We're Pennsylvania through and through. Started with the Penn National Racecourse right up the road in Grantville. And Penn National, from its outset, has brought forth a variety of firsts, not only in the state of Pennsylvania, but in the racing industry itself. One of the first facilities to have a account wagering operation, our Telebet operation that also had a live television show for many years. We opened the first off-track wagering facility in the state of Pennsylvania in Erie back in 1991. The company, through the success of its off-track betting locations, was able to go public in 1994 under Penn National Gaming. And over the past 25 years has been one of the success stories, not only in the racing, but gaming industries, expanding its footprint, not just from the state of Pennsylvania, but to almost 20, I think we're up to 22 jurisdictions now, and over 44 facilities across the United States. Those include in 2018 the acquisition of the Meadows facility. And over the past few years, we've had additional growth, not only in our land-based operations in many states, but also on the digital side. We were one of the first, actually the first sports betting operation in the state of Pennsylvania. We also were the first online casino operation in the state of Pennsylvania. We've expanded through acquisitions of the Barstool brand and the Score for our online sports betting and iCasino. And just recently, last week, we opened up, I believe it's our 14th state for sports betting in the state of Maryland. So Penn Gaming has really expanded over the past 50 years, and it's still a Pennsylvania company. We're based in Wyomissing, just an hour from here. The company is still growing, still looking for opportunities, but through and through, we've been Pennsylvania-based all this time. Penn Entertainment, not only rooted in Pennsylvania, but in the racing industry itself. We're the largest racing operator in the United States. We have, as I said, 50 years of history in racing, starting with the Penn National Racecourse. We have 11 racetracks in 8 different jurisdictions, 6 off-track betting facilities in 4 jurisdictions. We have a national account wagering operation, our HollywoodRaces.com. And in 2021, we had over almost 1,200 live racing events at our various properties that generated $1.2 billion in parimutuel wagering. And not only myself, but many of our track leaders also are on national boards and industry associations and leadership positions. So Penn Gaming, Penn Entertainment is definitely not only in Pennsylvania racing, but nationwide. Very involved, very active in the racing industry. I want to turn it over now to Tony to talk about specifically Tony and Eric with the Penn National Racecourse Hollywood Casinos.
Thank you again, Chris. So at Hollywood Penn National Racecourse, Chris, I think, covered a lot of our history, and that's really the birthplace of our company, and we're very proud of that. And we want to continue to build on that history. We celebrated our our anniversary this year with Peter Carlino and our founder, and had a very large concert and a celebration out on the racetrack for our 50-year anniversary. So it's something that we want to continue to build on, and we know that it means a lot to Dauphin County and it means a lot to our company. Our Penn Mile race this year was one of the most successful ones we've ever had at $4 million in handle, which was a great thing to see. We also have done some different things philanthropic wise that I've been a part of just in my short tenure that Eric and the team have really, done a great job with. For breast cancer in October, we raised $10,000 for the Susan G. Komen, and we're able to donate that out on the track in one of our races that was a pink out race. So I think there's a lot of things that we're doing really, really well as an operator. I'll let Eric speak more to the operation specifics as far as our capital improvements and, what we've done through our partnerships. Obviously, he's got a lot better handle on that than I do today. But what I'm excited about, I think, is just the opportunity. And you'll see some of the things I think we did at the Meadows that I think can transition over to Hollywood Casino at Penn National Racecourse very well, as it goes to integrating other experiences out on the track that I think engage customers in a different way, and also attract a new customer base out to the racing track. Because I think once you're out there and you're able to experience it and you see horses coming across the finish line and you have great food and music and other things that are coming into the experience, that's how we're going to start to grow a new base of customers that comes in. Because quite frankly, that's what we have to do, in our industry in order to keep it going. So I'll let Eric get into some of the specifics of things that are going on, and then we'll turn it over to Scott to finish up with the Meadows.
Thank you, Tony. Start with the Penn Mile. I mean, this has been a great success story since its inception in 2013, and I managed not to mess it up too bad. So we had a heck of a year last year. Since COVID, we were shut down during the that frame that we run the Penn Mile. In 2021, we came back. We did have it. We had to reduce the purse a little bit because of the lack of revenues through the course of COVID. But that year we got slogged with rain on the race day. We ended up taking it off. We ended up running the Penn Mile as a 3-horse field. It still ended up handling over $2.1 million on the day. This year in 2022, we came back. We had a really good card. It was a great day for racing. We made the decision in 2021 to move to a Friday evening, and that event this year set a new all-time handle record for Penn National of over $4 million. So we're very happy with that, and we will continue. Our Penn Mile this year is slated for June 2nd. So as always, everyone will be invited out for that event, and hopefully we'll see you there. Since 2008, we've done over $10 million in backstretch improvements. This includes 13 new barns that have been replaced in the stable area. The stable area still has accommodations for over 1,050 horses with 23 barns. In the old barns, we went through and removed the outdoor wash racks. So now that horses have to be washed inside, and all that water gets drained into the sanitary system that goes into our wastewater treatment plant. So make sure that we're staying good and clean and green and keeping the folks at the DEP happy with everything that we're doing there. Not because we're worried about the DEP, but because it's the right thing to do. We added a new starting gate in 2018. And last year in 2021, we put up a new turf rail. This is a safety rail designed by Duralock. And we had the materials, and we'll be putting in a new dirt rail on the main course here through sometime in 2023 as we have some time. So we have a great partnership with our Pennsylvania HBPA. We appreciate everything they've done. They've certainly helped us out with a new dormitory building we built in 2016. They were instrumental in getting the infield tote board put up in 2021. That was a lot of trials and tribulations, but the success of that board has been fantastic. It's a great image. If you haven't been out there, it's worth coming out to see it itself. It's incredible how sharp it is, and at the location where it is from the grandstand, it is perfect and visible from every angle on the apron and from the grandstand. And then their success with the New Start program, which we have supported since day one. We appreciate their efforts in that. And also in their marketing. We worked together with the HBPA over several years in marketing with the ostrich and camel races, which is by far our biggest promotion every year and what continues to be. Again, another event, if you want to see a crowd, you can almost like body surf the whole way across the apron every time we do that event. It just gets so crowded out there. And you would think that the market would get tired of seeing it, but it doesn't every year. And they come out and it just gets bigger and better every time. We've also partnered with the HPPA and with the World Series of Handicapping, which is something that we will be restoring for 2023. We dropped off on that during the COVID period. So now that we're back to full staff and full speed, we're going to bring that back for 2023. Equine safety is always a priority, and that has always been a priority at Penn National. We were one of the first track, not one of the first track to do mortality reviews. That program's been in place at Penn National since 2012, and it has changed and morphed over the years, and has really gotten to the point where it is the standard for the industry. As a matter of fact, our forms that we use, which we developed the newest forms in conjunction with the Racing Commission, has been sent to HISA, and they are basing some of their review requirements off of that form in the program that we do. Every time we turn around, there's something new that we learn from those things. You know, it's been for a lot of years just gathering information and building databases. And some of the obvious stuff stands out. You know, where's the most common place for injuries to occur? Where are the most common injuries that happen? We see those, and it's easy enough, but you do see things that show up all of a sudden, like what happens to a horse when it transforms strictly from running on a synthetic surface and training on a synthetic surface to when it comes down and starts on a dirt surface. And we are now monitoring bone density and all kinds of other fun stuff that to see if we can build a database to see if there's any correlations. Other than that, our catastrophic injury rates out of the last 3 years, 2 of those 3 years have been below the national average for catastrophic injury. I mean, obviously, the only acceptable number of catastrophic injuries a year is 0, and we're working very hard to get there. On that, Tony, anything else?
The only other thing I would add is we did open 2 new casinos over the past year. You may be aware of that in York and Morgantown. And in our Hollywood casino, Barstool Sportsbook operations, they all also have simulcast operations in them as well. That's in York and Morgantown. So we do have those extensions that are out and available for customers that are activating racing. And then we recently just added self-bet kiosks up into our sportsbook at Penn National Racecourse as well. So all of our Barstool Sportsbooks now have the ability to simulcast bet as well. Turn it over to Scott.
Thank you, everyone. Just briefly, Hollywood Casino at the Meadows, or the Meadows as we know it, as Chris alluded to, has been around for quite a while in the state of Pennsylvania since 1963. We're one of 3 racetracks, harness tracks in the country that offers year-round racing. I'm very proud of that. In conjunction, we do have an agreement with the Stronach Group or First Racing. They're our ADW operator here in the state of Pennsylvania. And we work very closely with them, as well as trying to work also with the other entities, FanDuel and Twin Spires, to try to leverage our product. And we've had meetings with them recently, and we're going to continue to do that and try to better position ourselves in that market. We do offer year-round stabling at our facility. We're the only harness track in the state to do that. We have approximately 800 stalls available. We have our 5/8 main track available for training, as well as smaller back track. Those 2 tracks are available 6 days a week throughout the year. This past year, I'm very happy to announce that we were able to work in conjunction with the MSOA to have 2 purse increases over the year, 2 10% increases, which has definitely helped and solidified our racing product and made it more attractive to other horsemen, not only in the state, but other states as well. Our signature event, which I think I take pride in as the premier standardbred event in the state, the Adios Pace. We have that every year at the end of July. Great event this year, unbelievable handle, pushing nearly 1.3 million for us, which was incredible. Our food and beverage capabilities have come back after COVID. We had over 120 people in our tent on the apron, as well as food and beverage throughout the property. So it was really a great event, and it's something that if you've never come to, you really should try to make an experience. It's very great. Capital improvements, over the years since 2007, over $12 million to backstretch improvements, another $2.4 million with our own capital. There are $360 million plus to the Horse Racing Development Fund, and 15.9, almost 16 million to the MSOA, and 20 million in parimutuel taxes. The property itself has gone through a lot of changes over the years. I think the biggest one was the rebuild, but just last year we opened a new facility outside called Embers, outdoor cafe, dining, upscale. Part of that was in conjunction. We did Friday night racing. It was very well received by not only the fans, but the horsemen. There are plans to continue that and roll that into the inside of the property. Hopefully within next year, we'll start that project. And we did just complete over this past year our Barstool Sportsbook, over $7 million project. And one of the unique things about it, although it is part of the casino, it overlooks the racetrack. So you can sit, you can actually see the races, have a meal. There are self-service terminals up there that you can wager on. So it's a great addition to the property. We hope to build and grow on that over the course of next year and years to come. So thank you very much.
I have a question, please. $360 million for the Pennsylvania Racehorse redevelopment. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I can answer that. That's the from the slots fund since the opening of the Meadows, which I believe was in 2008 on that. So that the percentage from the slot machine revenue that goes for purses, that's been the contribution over that time frame. Well, I appreciate your attentiveness to our presentation. We believe that both Hollywood Casino at Penn National Racecourse and its licenses, as well as Hollywood Casino at the Meadows and its licenses, are suitable for relicensing. We appreciate your time, and if there's any other questions, we're more than happy to answer them.
Thanks, Chris. Are there any other questions? Anybody on screen? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our
time.
final presentation for this afternoon.
Madam Chair, this is Commissioner DeBunda. I need to leave for another commitment. So I'll be leaving. I thank everyone who made their presentations, but I need to leave for another commitment.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner.
And Tom, good luck to you on Friday with your surgery. All have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, you as well. Turning now to the screen, Todd Bowker, Vice President of Racing for Premier Turf Club. It's your turn for a presentation.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Redding, members of the commission. Todd Bowker. My last name is spelled B as in boy, O-W-K-E-R. I'm here on behalf of Premier Turf Club. It's a pleasure to be here today to ask respectfully for you to consider and approve our application for a secondary parimutuel organization license. I see that the commission agenda today is very full, so I'll keep my presentation short and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have at the end of the presentation. Just to give you some background on Premier Turf Club, we were originally founded in 2006, and we were granted our first multi-jurisdictional account wagering license by the North Dakota Commission in 2007, and we started accepting wagers in February of that year. The company moved its operations to Oregon in January of 2010, and that's where we still operate and have our main license today. I was named general manager of the company in the fall of 2010, and I've headed the operations of Premier Turf Club ever since then. We've processed over 300 million in wagers since our inception, and we pride ourselves as being a very customer service focused organization. We have lots of very personal relationships with many of our customers, and as much as I hate to admit it, a lot of them have my personal cell phone number. So We do a lot of work to take care of our customers and enjoy that they have a very secure and wonderful experience wagering on racing. More recently, in June 1st of last year, Premier Turf Club was actually acquired and became a wholly owned subsidiary of PointsBet USA, Inc. PointsBet is a sports wagering and iGaming provider listed on the Australian Stock Exchange and currently has operations in Australia, the United States, Canada, and Ireland. PointsBet launched its operations in the United States in January of 2019 and is now operational in 14 states, including here in Pennsylvania. I would like to highlight for the commission, I know that a lot of people are maybe concerned in the horse racing industry about a sports betting company becoming involved in racing, but quite frankly, PointsBet is better known here as a sports betting and iGaming company, but its roots are actually in horse racing. The company was originally founded in Australia to accept wagers on horse racing there. Premier Turf Club, the entire management team has extensive experience in the horse racing industry. Some of the people in that room there will know me from various stints that I've had at a lot of different racetracks in the United States. I've been working in racing for nearly 40 years. We want the commission to know that racing is in our DNA. It's not an afterthought for PointsBet. We're very excited about the opportunity of providing access to live horse racing for not only our existing Premier Turf Club customers, but also to get horse racing in front of our sports betting customers. We're here to help support and grow the industry in the Commonwealth. It's not an afterthought for us. We're here because we want to be here, and we're excited about the prospects. Before I close, I just wanted to thank Director Chuckus, the commission staff, especially Ms. McCrone, for their assistance during the application process. They were very helpful along the way and have been a pleasure to work with. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Anybody on screen? Hearing none. Thank you very much. Appreciate your presentation.
Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
And then we will turn to our administrative actions, of which there are many. Tom, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Madam Chair, respectfully, a motion to approve the 2023 commission meeting schedule.
Start there. Is there a motion? Thank you. Commissioner Ellis, is there a second? Commissioner Jones, thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The next motion, Madam Chair, is to approve the simulcast calendars for the harness tracks for December of 2022, specifically Harrah's Philadelphia, Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs, and the Meadows.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay. Commissioner Brenizer and Commissioner Jones, any discussion, questions on this one? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The next motion, Madam Chair, is for the thoroughbreds, the simulcast calendars for December of 2022, specifically for Parks, Penn National, and Presque Isle Downs.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Commissioner Ellis, is there a second? Commissioner Jones, thank you. Any questions or discussion on this one? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
The next is a motion to ratify the Standardbred Bureau Director's approval for the Meadows to suspend the Jackpot Pick 5 and the Jackpot Pentafecta wagering until Friday, November 11th, 2022, with a mandatory payout on November 11th, 2022.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Second from Commissioner Ruddy. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The next is a motion, Madam Chair, to ratify the Standardbred Bureau Director's approval for Harrah's Philadelphia to modify its 2022 live race schedule. Those changes were to change post time on Friday, November 4th to 12:25 p.m. Add live racing days on December 30th with the post time of 12:25. Add a live racing day on December 31st, 2022 with the post time of 2:30. And eliminate live racing days on December 8th and December 15th.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Brenizer. Second, Commissioner Rogers. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Next, Madam Chair, is a motion to ratify the Thoroughbred Bureau Director's approval for Parks to conduct a mandatory Philly Big Five payout on November 23rd, 2022.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. Is there a second? Second, Commissioner Jones. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next, Madam Chair, is a motion to ratify the Thoroughbred Bureau Director's approval for Parks to move post time to 11:55 a.m. effective November 28th, 2022.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. Is there a second? Second from Commissioner Ruddy. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next item, Madam Chair, on the agenda is operational approvals for each of the racetracks. I'll do them individually. The first is for Penn National. They've submitted a request for 134 live race days in 2023. They have provided the requisite approvals for officials, for takeout rates. They've provided requests for the wagering format, and in addition, simulcast in and simulcast out for 2023.
Is there a motion to provide operational approvals for Penn National? Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Rogers. Any discussion? Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The next, Madam Chair, will be a motion for Presque Isle Downs. They've submitted for 100 live race days for 2023. They've submitted officials for 2023, takeout rates for 2023, the appropriate wagering format for 2023, and also requests for simulcast in and simulcast out.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. Is there a second? Second, Commissioner Ruddy. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the operational requirements for Penn National, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Turning to Parks.
For Parks, they've submitted a request, Madam Chair, for 151 live race dates for 2023. They've also submitted requests for officials for 2023, takeout rates for 2023, wagering format for 2023, and both simulcast in and simulcast out permissions for 2023.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Any questions or discussion for Parks? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
On to the harness tracks, Madam Chair. The next one is an approval for the Meadows. It's a request for 170 live race dates. In addition, they have submitted a request for the officials for 2023, for the takeout rates for 2023, the wagering format, and also simulcast in and simulcast out for 2023, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve for the Meadows? Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Brenizer. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The next motion, Madam Chair, is for Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs. The request is for 136 live race days. They've also submitted a request for approval for officials for 2023, takeout rates for 2023, wagering format for 2023, in addition to simulcast in and simulcast out for 2023.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve for Mohegan Sun?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Brennheiser. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Commissioner Ruddy. Questions or discussion on this one? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The final approval for operational approvals is for Harrah's Philadelphia. They've requested 130 live race dates. In addition, they have submitted requests for their officials for 2023, takeout rates for 2023, wagering format for 2023, also simulcast in for 2023, and simulcast out for 2023, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve for Harris?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Brennheiser. Is there a second? Commissioner Jones, thank you very much. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Augusto, we'll turn to licensing.
Thank you, Chairman. In accordance with the Racing Act, the license to conduct horse race meets must be renewed every 3 years. The Commission's Director of Licensing received all the necessary entity renewal applications and supporting documentation from Harrah's Philadelphia, Pocono Downs, the Meadows, Parks, and Penn National. As you recall, PID's 3-year license was renewed earlier this year. The Director of Licensing also received the remaining license renewals for certain racing vendors, SPMOs, and electronic wagering petitions for 2023. These licenses must be renewed annually. All of the above renewals or new applications and the supporting documentation have been thoroughly reviewed. All appropriate fees have been received as well. Any questions or concerns have been properly addressed by the applicants and/or petitioners. The Commission provided the general public with notice of the applications and with an opportunity to intervene in these matters. No such requests to intervene were received. The Director of Licensing and the Office of Chief Counsel recommend approval of the listed licensees. I do note, however, that there are several live racing agreements between the licensed racing entities and the respective horsemen that are set to expire soon. So please be careful of those issues. Respectfully, I will read, as I see most people looking up at the clock behind me, I will try to read one order and make it applicable to the listed individuals or entities in the agenda. In terms of the race meet 3-year license renewal, the following order would be, and now this 29th day of November 2022, pursuant to the provisions of Section 9318 of the Racehorse Industry Reform Act and Chapter 181 of the Commission's regulations, the above licensed racing entity filed an entity application for renewal of its 3-year license to continue to conduct horse race meetings with pari-mutuel wagering under the jurisdiction and authority of the Commission. The license to conduct horse race meetings shall be issued for a period of 3 years and shall not be granted automatically. In accordance with the statutory authority, the Commission's Director of Licensing, the Office of Horse Racing, and the Office of Chief Counsel received all the necessary supporting documentation, records, and information as requested, including applicable license fees. The Commission conducted a necessary review and analysis to determine the suitability of the licensed racing entity, its owners, officers, managers, or agents, and whether those licensed racing individuals complied with the provisions of the Act and the Commission's regulations. The Commission finds that the above licensed racing entity has complied with the provisions of the Act and also finds that the ongoing participation in horse racing by the above licensed racing entity is consistent with the public interest and is in the best interest of racing generally. Therefore, in accordance with Section 9318, the Commission in its judgment hereby grants the above licensed racing entity a renewal license to continue to conduct horse race meeting at which pari-mutuel wagering is permitted for a period of 3 years. It is further ordered that the Commission's approval is issued upon the general conditions set forth in the Act and with the following specific conditions. 1, the above licensed racing entity shall provide written notice to the Commission of any modifications, changes, or amendments to the contractual terms of its live racing agreement with the horseman no later than 15 business days after such modification change, or amendment. Number two, the above licensed racing entity shall seek prior written approval from the commission to make any subsequent modifications, changes, or amendments to racing operations, the physical facility, or marketing initiatives. Number three, the above licensed entity shall provide written notice to the commission of any modifications, changes, or amendments to its horse race meeting license renewal application no later than 15 business days after such modification, change, or amendment. That could be done in the form of an order, and that would be applicable to the Downs Racing, Ben Salem Racing Association and its entities, Chester Downs and Marina, Mountain View Thoroughbred Racing, and Mount Laurel Racing and Washington Trotting Association.
Thank
you.
So moved for all those.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Brenheiser. Any discussion on any of these 3-year license renewals? Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you. The orders will be following. The next on the agenda, Madam Chair, is racing vendors. Again, these two applications, or rather these two orders, will apply to those two vendors. And now this 29th day of November, 2022, pursuant to Section 9351B1 of the Racehorse Industry Reform Act, the above racing vendor as defined in Section 9301 and as determined by the Commission is seeking to renew its license to provide goods and services to a licensed racing entity directly related to racing or the racing product. Pursuant to Section 9358, this racing vendor license is valid for a period of 1 year commencing January 1st, 2023. In accordance with the statutory authority set forth in Section 9353B, its regulatory authority set forth in Section 187.4, the Commission has reviewed and submitted the renewal application and pertinent information from the racing vendor, including any subsequent changes from its previously approved 2022 license application. Based upon the Commission's review and consideration, it is hereby ordered that the above referenced racing vendor license renewal is hereby granted for the year 2023. And that would be for American Teletimer and Access Information Network.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Rogers. Any questions or discussion on the racing vendors? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The following order is applicable to Premier Turf Club and Naira Bets. Premier Turf Club is a new application for an SPMO. Naira Bets would be seeking to renew its previously granted license. So that would be the only difference in these two orders. And now this 29th day of November, 2022, in accordance with sections 9322 and 9351B of the Racehorse Industry Reform Act, the above applicant is seeking a secondary parimutuel racing organization license as defined in section 9301 of the Racing Act to conduct advanced deposit wagering in Pennsylvania. Pursuant to section 9358, this SPMO license is valid for a period of 1 year commencing January 1st, 2023. The Commission, through its bureaus of standardbred and thoroughbred racing and licensing staff, has received and reviewed the SPMO application, the applicable licensing and financial documentation, and all the necessary background investigative information as requested by the Commission. In addition, the above applicant has submitted the statutory licensing fees associated with the SPMO application. Pursuant to section 9322A4 of the Racing Act, the Commission finds the general fitness and experience of the above applicant consistent with the public interest, convenience, and necessity, and in the best interest of racing generally. That could be also a motion for those two entities.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Any questions or discussions on the SPMO applications? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Electronic wagering.
Thank you. Finally, the electronic wagering petitions. This order will be applicable to Chester Downs and Marina, Downs Racing, Mount Laurel Racing and Washington Trotting Association, Ben Salem Racing Association in Keystone, Mountain View Thoroughbred Racing and Penn National Turf Club, and PID LLC. And now this 29th day of November 2022, pursuant to sections 9351B and 9353 of the Racehorse Industry Reform Act, the above licensed racing entity is seeking to renew its annual license to engage in electronic wagering under the jurisdiction and statutory authority of the Commission for 2023. Pursuant to section 9351B2, the renewal license is valid for a period of 1 year commencing January 1st, 2023. In accordance with the statutory authority set forth in the Act, the Commission received the electronic wagering license petition, supporting documentation, and the applicable renewal license fee under section 9352 4I. The Commission staff has completed the documentary review and evaluation in this matter. Accordingly, the Commission finds the general fitness and experience of the above petitioner consistent with the public interest and the best interest of racing generally. In addition to the enumerated conditions, rights, and duties of licensure set forth in the Act, the Commission hereby directs that the licensed racing entity shall promptly notify the Commission of any material changes or modifications to the submitted renewal petition and supporting documentation. Therefore, it is ordered that the above referenced electronic wagering license renewal petition is hereby granted for the year 2023.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve these electronic wagering petitions?
So moved.
Second. Stereo. Commissioner Ellis and Commissioner Brenizer, thank you. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Fortunately, that only happens once a year.
Thank you, George. Tony, industry reports.
Madam Chair, before we go to the industry reports, Tom has a couple of housekeeping items. Tom?
Thanks, Tony. The first housekeeping item, as everyone's aware, the situation with HISA is very fluid. From the Commission standpoint, we continue to cooperate with HISA. We continue to work with HISA, and as things progress and develop, the Commission will share more information. But at this time, it's a work in process. Second issue is out of competition testing. Since the last Commission meeting, the Commission has conducted 88 out of competition tests, 22 at Penn National and 66 at the Meadows. Just for a relevant point, year to date from 22 to 21, in 22 this year, we've conducted 953 out of competition tests. Last year, we conducted 426. So we've pretty much doubled. We'll probably be over 1,000 tests by the end of the year. Some of those out of competition tests have provided results. I really can't get into details, but we've probably had 3 or 4 instances, 2 on the thoroughbred and I think 1 on the standardbred, that has borne further action. On the hotline was implemented as part of a 10-step program with this Commission back in March. It started March 1st. Year to date, we've received 67 thoroughbred calls, 24 standardbred calls, and 3 what I would call general, for a total of 94. Each of these are investigated. 90 have been investigated and closed. There are 4 currently open. From Tony and my perspective, just a general comment on the hotline. The hotline has produced some serious leads on certain issues. It also has reinforced some ongoing investigations. Overall, it's been a very positive. Takes a little bit of work to sort through things because we investigate everything. But overall, as part of the 10-point plan from the Commission, this has turned out to be a very positive, and it's helped the Commission and the Commission staff. That's all I have. Tony, the last issue, if I ask you a favor, I know the PHRA and Ashley, when you're doing the industry reports, if you could give Ashley and the PHRA 2 minutes, they would greatly appreciate it.
Sure, Tom. In fact, if you'd like, Ashley, we can start with you if you're ready now.
Sure am. Sorry. Yes, thank you so much. Ashley Eisenbiel with the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association, Marketing Director. I just wanted to give everyone a little update. We're super excited here to announce that we are doing our first statewide Caregivers Day on December 14th at Parks Racing, Penn National, and the Meadows, and on December 16th at the Harrah's. Caregivers, as you know, are an essential part of the Pennsylvania horse breeding and racing industry. So the PHRA, along with the Horsemen's Associations and tracks, have come together to give caregivers winter hats and hoodies, along with other giveaways and acknowledgement at each of the tracks. We have also set up a form for the breeding farms to fill out, and we will be mailing them winter hats. They just need to tell us how many caregivers they have at their location. And we are just very excited to do this statewide day and acknowledge our caregivers in the industry, and even more excited to grow it for next year. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Ashley. Hey, I have one quick question. Are you planning on doing the full cam again this year?
Yes, sir. Full cams. We are just finalizing each of the farms, so we should have an update for the commission on where those locations will be in December. But yes, we are moving forward with full cams again, launching at the end of January.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll start off with Scott, since you're here in person, Scott.
Thank you, Tony. Just very briefly, thank you to everyone on the commission for your time and effort and your approvals today. Very much appreciated, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and a nice holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Mike Zollinger.
You left it on for me, Scott. Thanks. First of all, thank you for your approvals today, mainly for our renewal of our 3-year race meet license. Certainly appreciated. We had another very successful year at Pocono Downs. We ended on the 19th. That day, we had celebrated some standardbreds, 4 of them who retired, 4 14-year-olds that day. So we had a little celebration for them in the winter circle after each race. As well, we celebrated the top trainer this year, Ron Burke, and our top driver of Matt Kakele, who has finally taken over George Knapp's reign for a little while. Other than that, looking forward to a new successful year of 2023. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Barry Brown, Harris.
All right. Thank you all for your approvals today, this morning. We have 11 race days left in our 2022 season. As you heard me mention earlier, we're going to race through New Year's Eve, and that'll wrap up 2022. And I just want to wish everyone a happy and healthy holiday season. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. Joe Wilson from Parks. Joe.
Thanks, Tony. I echo the previous comments and thank the commission not only for your approvals today, but for your continued support. It's much appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Eric Johnson, Penn National. Eric.
Like everyone else, we do appreciate your approvals, and we look forward to a very exciting year in 2023. I'd also like to mention, I'd like to thank Brian Sanfratello and the Thoroughbred Horse Breeders Association. On Friday evening, we ran the Shamrock Rose, which is a 2-year-old filly race for Pennsylvania breds. And we started a new program where we kicked off and tested the waters with a new program on Friday. We rode a couple of starter races for Pennsylvania breds with very nice purses. Considering the timing and everything that happened with those races, I think they were well supported and they went very well. And we will be having discussions about having a larger enhanced day sometime, possibly next year in the fall, or maybe in correlation with the Shamrock Rose right around Thanksgiving. Again, we appreciate the horse breeders' support. You know, they're constantly a good ally of ours, and we do love having them there at the racetrack. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Before we go to Matt Ennis, I noticed that Mr. Buckler has his hand up. Did you have a question, Todd?
No question. Just wanted to echo everyone else and thank the commission for approving our application today. We look forward to working with everyone in 2023. Thank you.
Thank you. Matt Ennis from Presque Isle, are you on the call?
Yes, I am. Thank you to mirror that for approving our electronic wagering petition in 2023. We wrapped up our season here October 26th. Our backside closed early November, a little bit earlier than anticipated. We did use that as an opportunity before we got 25 inches of snow to completely turn our track over with the help of Tapeta footings, discovering any necessary maintenance items that were needed, and in preparation for our 2023 safe season. So it's been determined we're looking at potentially 100 tons of fiber to add to our track, mainly in the chute in 2023. But for now, Presque Isle is in shutdown mode until April, May of 2023. So thank you.
Hey, thanks, Matt. Horsemen's Association. Sam, you have anything, or Mike? Mike Horan.
I'll save everybody from Sam. Mike Harant, Harant. Not too much to report other than what the track's already said. We had a very successful meet at Pocono, finished up on the 19th. Like Barry said, we have 11 or 12 days left at Harrah's, December 31st. If you're looking for anything to do before your New Year's, come on down to Harrah's. And before you know it, we'll be back at Pocono. Thanks, everybody. Have a great holiday season.
Thank you, Mike. Kim Hankins. Kim, are you on the call? I know Kim is recovering from hip surgery, so hopefully he's having a successful recovery. So, Todd, have anything? No comment? Jeff Matty, PTHA. Jeff?
Thanks, Tony. This is Jeff. Last name is Matty, M-A-T-T-Y. I'd just like to, thank all of you for your approvals today. As many of you know, this is an election year for the PTHA board. We have 25 nominees. And with that said, I just want to thank a few people. We had our Meet the Candidates meeting on Friday, 2 Fridays ago. And with the help of Pete Peterson and Ashley Eisenbiel, we were able to stream that on our Facebook. It was a collaborative effort. We had many in attendance. And like I said, we have 25 nominees. I'd like to thank Joe Wilson and his staff, especially his video staff, for setting us up in a great spot to accommodate the numbers. And from a commission standpoint, I'd like to thank Tom Chukas, Ismael Navarrito, and Nicole Macron. In order to get our ballots out, these 3 people have been very helpful in getting us that appropriate information. So it's a collaborative effort. There's a lot of moving parts going on, and the PTHA thanks every one of you. So thanks again.
Thanks, Jeff. Mike, do you have anything for the State of Rib Readers? No. And Brian Sanfratello. Brian, are you on the call?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, I'm at Parks right now getting ready for our last stakes race, the $200,000 2-year-old nursery, which will end up our stakes program for this year. In your handout, the slot revenue transfers to the breeding fund are just up a little bit, about $150,000 year to date. I'm happy to let you know that we had a Breeders' Cup winner a couple of weeks ago in the Turf Sprint. Caravel, bred by Elizabeth Merriman. And that Turf Sprint is both males and females together. So she beat the boys, and she was the only non-Kentucky and non-European bred horse to win a Breeders' Cup race out of the 14 Breeders' Cup races that were run. So again, great day for Pennsylvania. Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred is included in the packet for December, and there's a nice article in there and a couple of pictures on Caravel. So thank you.
Hey, thank you, Brian. Just briefly.
Spell my name?
Yeah, go ahead, Brian. You got it? He's got it.
He's got it? Okay, great.
On behalf of Tom and I too would like to thank all the racetracks, the horsemen, and look forward to their continued support and working together in the new year, just like we did this year, because that's what makes it work for everybody. So thanks to everybody. I don't think there's any public comment, Mike. I think that's what everybody's waiting for, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Tony, and thanks, everybody. I know 2 hours today reflects thousands of hours of work and just doing the job every day and preparing all of the paperwork and processing all of the paperwork and reading all of the paperwork. Thank you all. I wish you a happy Thanksgiving on behalf of Secretary Redding, who is still out in the woods with at least one of his sons searching for the right deer. Hopefully he'll find it today and return in a really good mood tomorrow. Our next meeting will be December 20th, right back here in this room. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Okay, 5 seconds. We all said yes. Thank you, everybody. Safe travel.